So I'm just going to do a little quick housekeeping here. This training will require a pen and paper, or you can take notes on your computer, however it works for you best. And there will be just a teeny tiny little landing meditation in this as well, as I just sometimes believe we just need creative CEO space to really hone and get into the mindset of what we're trying to do here. So you'll notice oftentimes in any training that I do, there will be some element of spirituality and or meditation in this. So does anybody, before we get started, does anybody have questions, curiosities, or concern? Feel free to unmute and just simply ask. Hi, Jane. If anybody has questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll roll in. So today's training is all about sussing out what the problem is that you solve. Now, what I notice a lot in terms of training and a lot what I notice in people's ad copy and as well how they're articulating what they do is that they get caught on the solution. It's our ego's pleasure to share with everybody what it is we believe we do. And what the problem is with that is that we're not connecting to our primary client. We're not adjusting what we know to our actual clients. Does that make sense? So our clients are not looking to hire us per se. They're not looking specifically for our energy or our personal solution. What they're looking for is somebody who understands their problem. Okay, so today we are just really going to focus in the nitty-gritty aspect of their problem. So I want you to write at the top of the piece of paper that you have in front of you, first and foremost, I want you to write down what your job is or what your business is. And for a few of you, you're just beginning this, so what you assume it to be, or potentially if you have two businesses, maybe focus on the one that you're wanting to create out of this experience versus the one that you already have. So if you're trying to up level or create a new business, maybe write that business down so that you can adequately speak to the problem that you want to solve. Does that make sense? So at the top of the paper, you're going to write that down. Next, we're going to sit in the hell of this person's problem. So I want you to take a moment and we're going to move ourselves into the pain and into the suffering of the people that we are working for, the people that we are trying to serve. Now, again, it's probably very clear to you what your solution is. It's probably very clear to you how you serve. It's probably really clear to you what you imagine they're going to get out of working with and for you, essentially. But what may not be super evident at this point is how much pain they're actually in. So from every perspective, before they've met you, what are their feelings? What are the conditions of their lives? Is there confusion? Is there pain? Actual physical pain? Are they financially unstable? Are they needing advice from you in a way that they have never received it from somebody else, but they are so unclear here, which would be a pain point? Or they are demonstrating really bad decisions over and over and over again, and you can see this layered pattern of bad decisions. And it's not a matter of connecting then how you transform them. Just stay in the hell of their pain. So really take a moment in the pain and the suffering of your client before they've met you, before they've ever heard of you, before they know what it is they're going to get out of you. And if you need examples, just feel free to pop on and say, Willow, I need some examples. But we're going to take 5 minutes here and just start writing down what the pain points are. And don't hesitate to ask if you need help.
I think I'm going to ask.
Yeah. Oopsie. Yes.
What if, so pain point, like, what if there are just so many potentials?
Great. Fucking write it down.
Write it all down.
Write it all down. I mean,
Okay.
you are dealing with people who are either losing a loved one or about to lose their lives themselves. I mean, you should
There's like, I mean, like an entire book.
right.
Okay.
But I would focus on from the perspective, we're reverse engineering a little bit here. So you know what your solution, what you want it to be is ease of end of life. You want them to have an easy time. So based on the solution you believe you're going to offer, what are all the hell points that you're going to speak to?
Okay.
The discomfort and the pain and the anxiety, because there's a lot of anxiety if you're looking at it from the family perspective, the anxiety leading into I'm going to lose a loved one here. There's so much anxiety there. For the person whose life is soon to be over, their anxiety is like, I don't know where the receipt is. I don't remember where I put the password to blankety blank. They might not know that I shoved money under the mattress. Like, I have to make sure that everybody knows all these things. So I'm going to hang on for fear that they won't know certain aspects. But additionally, then there's the emotional pieces. So decide where you really want to fit yourself. If you're focusing in on the emotional pain or the physical anxiety of what it is to walk away from life. And maybe both. And maybe just do 2 columns, physical and emotional.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone else needing a little? Just gonna give you guys a little music. Give yourself one more minute of just free writing here. You can go back to this, but I want to establish sort of what hell feels like. All right, and just put the pause on that. Does anybody want to share what the pain feels like for their clients? Sometimes it's just nice to make sure that you feel like you got it. Michelle, I'll call on you. Can you there you go.
Okay. I wasn't really paying attention, Willow, but sorry, I had to take another call. My client was texting. I can tell you what the pain is for me with my client right now, but
Yeah, totally.
yeah, the pain is all mine. Well, with, I'm writing notes for the coaching part of it because, I'm kind of doing a two-part aspect for all of this. But since the real estate is my bread and butter, I wrote down, it's an emotional thing, it's a money thing, it's uncertainty, new area, new friends, new jobs, change.
Yeah.
That's a really big one. And then, sometimes dealing with the other end of the transaction is also, stressful and hellish for them. So
the money aspect, when you say the other side.
No, personalities.
Yeah.
Dealing with the different personalities on both sides of the transaction. Sometimes they're awesome, and sometimes somebody is just incredibly unreasonable.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And unreasonable is fear.
Or just a personality defect.
100%. But even the personality defect is laying in fear. Like when we are unreasonable and defensive, it's always 100% fear-based.
Okay.
It's a mechanism that has been put there to say, A, I'm better than you. B, if I put up this giant fucking fiery wall here, then you won't see how scared I actually am.
Okay.
So just another way to look at it.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. I think I have a hard time trying to figure out though what their fear is when they're unreasonable about petty things.
It's the insecurity, and we can dive into this on our one-to-ones because I think it'll really transform your business if you're to stay in real estate, to have better tools and modalities to work with some of these harder personality types. But it's almost always an insecurity that somebody is taking them for a ride. When it is on the really dumb little shit, it's like, I must control. I'm so insecure that I have to control the details.
Okay. That makes sense.
And so they don't want to give an inch because they're not going to get taken. They're the ones that are going to take you, but not the other way around ever. So, but it's ultimately the insecurity is like their toys got taken away as children. And now that they've learned to adult this thing, they're going to be a bigger bully than their parents were to them. Does that make sense?
Complete sense. Yep.
So you're working with a child who thinks you're going to take away their toy.
Yay, me.
Changes the tonality though of how to then speak. Like, oh, I'm not trying to take away your toy, sir. Ma'am, I promise you are going to get the mirror in the bathroom that you really want. No one's trying to take that away from you. You know what I mean? Like that you can like almost meet their language like a mom to a kid.
Okay.
But understanding that pain too, like when it feels unreasonable to you to transition into the hell position that they're in, wherein they feel like something's being taken away or they're being taken advantage of in some way, and that is creating this terrible anxiety. These are things that even for you, as long as you've been in the industry, changing some of the ad copy that you put out there to really describe the pain and suffering that is the shopping experience to the solution that is you, who's going to hold them and care for them and really make them feel as if they're going to get the thing that they want. Like if you're really focused in that problem, it's going to ultimately change the way that you're selling and the people who are signing up for you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else want to speak about their hell points?
I'll talk about mine.
Yes, please.
Which I doubt really are like severe pain points for people. And I'm not even really sure if people are experiencing these, but these are just sort of the things that I have come up with. So what I think is that there could be a group of people out there that are looking to just do more conscious shopping.
Yes.
And
they are landed. I'm goosebumping Jane because I was praying that was where you're going to go with this. Yes.
Yeah. So just being able to make more decisions like buying locally or buying closer to the source. They care about the purchases that they're making, where their money is going, and what's happening with it. I also think that there could be an element of people are moving to like a more minimalistic lifestyle, and they really want to make purchases that are, you know, they're really good and they just love the pieces and they really spark joy for them.
Yeah.
And that could come in purchasing more artistic pieces as opposed to just another piece of fast fashion.
Well, there's two things. Something that I have been hearing a lot in the marketplace right now is I don't want to create something that looks like everybody else's. So the fact that you are selling really high quality, zero waste, unique pieces that will set you aside from the competition or from the neighborhood, what's in vogue fashion. Like, to me, that says something. Like, to a person who feels like she doesn't want to be compared, to a person who feels like she doesn't want to fit in and she wants to splash a little bit more, be a little bit more vibrant about who she is. The pain point of her is like feeling like everybody's always wanting to put her in a box, feeling like nobody ever truly understands her. And therefore shopping has become a miserable experience because it just feels like everything looks the same in the marketplace. And she would love to pair not only her fashion and vibrancy, but she'd love to pair that with her commitment to the environment, zero waste, and consciousness. So I feel like articulating that in that capacity changes even how the boutique owner, when you're walking your product into the store, if this is the mission statement with which you kind of write to, it's like they identify immediately with who this woman is and they know her. She probably shops at their store every day. And they're going to be so excited for, we'll call her Victoria, to get in this outfit and into the skirt.
Okay. And I love that you use the word vibrant because I definitely would use that word to describe my pieces. And some people I have found they're too vibrant for them.
Yes.
And I've tried to like tone things down, and then I always just kind of, you know, I go with what speaks to me when I'm out there gathering what I'm going to work with, and I just keep getting vibrant things. So I do need to find that group of people that are looking for that.
Other thing that I noticed, Jane, and again, this is just a hit, I notice the more introverted women actually are the more vibrant in their wear. So it's not that they're the loud ones. The loud ones occasionally will wear brightness, but the loud ones already make impact when they walk in a row. But somebody who's a more introverted version of themselves often decorate themselves on the outside so that people might notice them, because they're not going to walk into a room and be like, it's me, I'm here. They walk into a room and hope somebody notices them and might strike up a conversation.
Okay.
This is the other thing. It's like helping you create the conversation before you even enter the room, essentially. Like tired of being unnoticed or tired of just blending in would be another one, because that's another aspect of a woman, is not feeling confident in a space, not feeling like you really can make a splash or an impact, feeling like nobody is going to notice you.
Mm-hmm.
They're pained.
Awesome. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody else? Well, we're here in hell. All right, let's move to the easy one. This one's usually very easy for everybody. Heaven. So the idea here in heaven is that what do they experience after? And Jane, I don't know if you're muted. I can't see you, but if you can mute, great. After they've met you, again, we're not working out your personal solution. We're just working out feelings and vibes here. After they've met you and they've experienced what you're going to offer, and you're their unique savior of this, what does heaven feel like? What are the marshmallows and rainbows that they get when they have either put on your product or they've been served by you in some capacity? What is that heaven? Just take another 5 minutes here and just jot down all the pieces of heaven that you can imagine feeling here. And try to really put yourself in the shoe of your client. Okay? What do they feel?
Hey, Willow.
Yeah.
This is one place where I'm getting caught up because there's such a blurry line between me as a person and my business still.
Okay. And so if we're to remove you altogether, again, we're not working through solution, we're not working through you, we're working through the pain point that your client experiences before meeting your product, before meeting your business, and the heaven that they experience when they come in community with your business and your product. Does that help?
So like if I'm having an event or a class and what their experience of that class is.
Yeah, what they've experienced after working a period of time under your mission statement, we'll say it. I'm trying to differentiate too because it's ultimately still you.
Right.
So I mean, for now,
So,
you are the change that they're going to experience.
Could I provide something that might support?
Yes, Stephanie.
So Sarah, when I come to your classes, my experience is I feel super antsy that day. Like I just need to move in my body. And so like I'm coming to your class feeling like kind of antsy, really wanting to move. And then every time I leave your class, just the humor and the lightness you bring into your teaching, I feel like that antsiness is released. I feel super light afterwards. And so that's like what I walk away with.
okay, thank you.
Debbie, do you want to help?
I think really where I'm stuck is I'm just I'm being too hard on myself. And what the impression I think I leave people with is different than what it actually is. Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's why we're starting just in pain. And then we're sort of fast forwarding to, this is an envisionment. This isn't, you don't have to be sure or convinced that their heaven is this experience. But where often we get
Got it.
is we believe we create a specific solution, or we believe that we're really clear about what we're making here. But if we can envision ourselves, and we're going to do a landing meditation, we'll go back over this again because ego is responding to all of this right now.
Yeah.
So from the heaven perspective, you can make assumptions of this right now.
Okay.
For what you want them to get right now. But
Yeah.
ultimately our goal is to get inside the mind, the body, and the feels of the people that you are truly affecting.
Yeah. That's totally it. It's my ego is still trying to tell me like, what do I think they feel versus what
Do they feel?
they feel. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, just another minute here. Okay. Take a deep breath. Now, you're going to consider your solution. So you know what the pain and suffering points are of your client. You're very clear about the heaven that you're wanting them to feel after. So now we move into the outcome that you're offering. Now, from Sarah's perspective, what I'd like you to consider is, are you looking at this from a class? Are you looking at this as a program? I want you to choose one from a class versus a program, like a collective time period with you. What would be the outcome that I want? Like, what is the outcome you're hoping that they receive? If they're working one-to-one or in a group setting with you. And same thing goes for everybody else. Pick one aspect of the business that you are working in, that you are creating an outcome for, okay? And if there's curiosity or question with this, feel free to ask. This is your solution. Yes, Miss Debbie.
Me again. What if my outcome, I want my outcome to be their heaven?
Yeah, absolutely. So the transformation from hell to heaven is the outcome. You should have enough in between those notes to really understand that. And I'm going to give you guys a little hint here. List a problem, add a solution. If you're curious about how this works, list another problem, add another solution. So as you're working through heaven and hell, you're going to see some symbiotic sort of space here to write in. The goal here is that we're going to write one sentence that says, this is what I do. So that when somebody walks up to you at a party or you're at a networking event, yes, they call it an elevator pitch, but the difference between saying I'm a real estate agent or I'm a yoga instructor versus I bring people to their home or I help them achieve mind, body, spirit connection is very different. Suddenly I'm like, huh, so you're not just a yoga instructor, you're like somebody who does this thing. From your perspective, Debbie, like I help people transition from here to there, essentially. I don't know what your words are going to be here, but really looking at that heaven piece. But I want you to also focus on the people who are left over, Debbie, because you're going to be a whole family person in this experience. You don't want to focus on those people?
Don't.
You're going to help give voice, though, to the death, to the person who's dying. You're going to help them use their voice.
Yes.
To affect the change in their whole family.
Yes, but then I get to move to the next person, but you're saying I have to stay. I'm just kidding. You're not saying anything. It's just a thought.
No, and you're not staying with them. You're just helping to transition them too. Teaching, you're helping people to let go and love. Okay.
Because everything was focused on the one person. Sorry. How do I say this? So like if it was relational from their truth, regardless of how that impacted the other person in that relationship or other people in that relationship. When I was writing their hell and their heaven, it was their perspective of all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You're giving them permission to fly a happy fuck you to their family.
If they need to, yeah.
Die the way that they want to die. But the other objective is, like, you could say, inspiring people to love and let go of their life and their loved ones. Something that Gay Hendricks says in The Big Leap is that when we are willing to rise above our fears and limitations, and we take on the challenge and decide to live to our full potential, which in your case, full potential is I'm gonna fucking die. I mean, that's really the ultimate final countdown right there is I'm going to die and I'm gonna do it my way, and it's gonna be my way, not your highway. So, but it becomes an inspiration for those who are looking for that permission as well.
Okay.
It becomes an inspired decision versus like we keep presenting death as end of days in hell. So you want to use a language that's really going to inspire them to want to sign up for you.
Okay.
Inspired endings, you know, something of that nature. Yeah. So play in the problem and solution.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else?
Willow,
Yes.
one of the things that I wrote down was helping women to make purchases that they feel good about on the inside and the outside. Meaning, inside they're making a conscious purchase, and then on the outside that they're making something that they want to wear to present to the world. It sounds kind of like a cheesy little tagline to me. as
Yeah,
opposed
it's a little
to
too
mission.
cliche. It's definitely a little too cliche. Like what I mentioned earlier in terms of like I would really focus in on the words that were sort of spoken before. This is taking a woman. I would really focus on conscious capitalism. I would focus on zero waste. I would focus on vibrancy, and not fitting in the box, like giving them permission to fully come out and be themselves. So the problem is in America today, there is this much waste. Like you could actually speak to, and I think we spoke about this before, in most states at this time, a homeless person can change their clothes literally every 5 minutes with how much we are getting rid of. And because trends are changing every single day, people are trading their clothes in to fit what's in fashion today. Okay, that's a fucking problem. As far as I'm concerned, capitalism from this consumption is a fucking problem. And it's part of what's going to hurt our environment if we don't get a cap on it. So speaking to the woman who's really conscientious of this and saying, we have a zero waste product where you get to fit in to your own style. So turn the fitting in to being you're a fitter inner for your style here. And you're saving the environment at the same time with this zero waste product. Quality American made recycled material. And I would just keep using those words. And I'm not expecting you guys to nail this today. We're going to do this one more time. We're going to do a meditation and go right back through all of this quick.
Okay.
Just to see the difference. But in this space, writing down those words, Jane, and playing with them every day until you get it, because you don't want anything cliche. Your product is not cliche.
Okay.
Your product is going to save the environment. And that's the thing is, every little person here is making a footprint. And those footprints add up in terms of how we are working to cure the environment. If Debbie here can get people to accept that they're going to die, Maybe we don't save people until they're 102 and they're no longer really viable people and they're not vibrant here and they're not enjoying life and they're hooked up to machines. Now, you might be of a totally different consciousness to this idea and it feels really wonky to you, but she's saving the environment. Jane, you recycling clothing is saving the environment. Michelle selling potentially recycled houses, let's say. There's nothing more green than moving people into homes that other people have lived in. That's conscious.
Yep. Awesome.
Yeah. And Sarah's making us all think about ourselves and where we fit. And Stephanie's helping us eat better food and think about ourselves in a holistic and loving manner. Okay. So we're going to go back to this space of what is the problem. And we're going to take a little moment here to set down pens and paper. And if you can, if you're in a space where you can just let your eyes drop a little bit and you can just move and get any wiggles out in your body that you have. And I want you to take a solid deep breath in. And just notice how your body feels underneath you and around you. And get really clean and clear just where you are. With every inhale in, I want you to feel the expanse of your body. And with every exhale out, I want you to feel the recess and the contract. And on your next inhale in, I want you to begin to invite in the energy of your potential clients. Invite in the energy of your potential people. And you can ask your guides for help here, and you can ask your angels for help here to bring in the people that you are best at serving. And I want you to take a moment here and begin to imagine what they feel like, perhaps what they smell like. And I want you to see just one client standing in front of you. And visualize what this one client is wearing. Visualize what her hair looks like, or his hair. And I don't want them to feel like a mannequin here. So I want you to see them moving. They're not still beings. I want you to see them moving and breathing and living their day-to-day life. But I want you to begin to just do what we call a body scan. We're going to start at the top of their head and work our way down to their feet. And the goal here is to notice if there's any blocks in any single areas of their body. And notice if you can get any information or intel on those blocks. Those blocks being fear, blocks being pain, blocks being old stories, old consciousness. And I want you to just go through little by little. We're going to drip through this person. Take a deep breath here. And again, I want you to lean on your guides and your angels. And if you can, bring in one extra guide or one extra angel to come into this room with you and this person. And have the guide or the angel really illuminate, either with like a flashlight or maybe a pointer, so that they can show you where the pain points live in the body. And perhaps they can help interpret where the pain points live in the body. So you're not alone in this. You've got help here. working through this with your helpers above. So now that you have clearly this person, this imaginary person in front of you, this person that you want to serve, this person that you know you can help, this person that you know you have the ultimate solution for, I want you to begin at the tippy top of their head. I want you to imagine that you have X-ray vision here and that you can see inside their brain. And not like a scientist, but like all their thoughts, all the stuck thoughts that just keep recycling themselves over and over and over again. What is their conscious reiteration in their brain constantly wheeling on about? What are their thoughts? Do they feel and look like you in a little way? Can you relate? Can you hear their ego? Their inner judge? Their feelings of imposter? Their comparison? Their self-doubt? I want you to begin to move the energy away from their head, down past their third eye, into their nasal cavity, into their jaw. And I want you to just stay here at the jaw. And I want you to see if you can feel or see if they're clenched here. They're holding back words. They're biting their tongue. They're holding an energy here. There's tenderness or soreness or exhaustion here. Or if they're talking so much because they're afraid you might find out their truth. Just see and feel here. Moving the energy into their throat. And again, here's where you can really sense their fears and their resentment. All the things they haven't said and wanted to say. All the decisions they're trying to make and not making. All the times they've yelled at the people around them because they're not getting their way. All the times they've tucked in their feelings and not shared for fear that someone might find them out. All the times they've let themselves play small. And all the times they've used their vibrato to again hide their truth so you won't find out just how scared they are. Move the energy now into the heart. The heart of where their mother, their father, their grandparents, and all the imprinting and language of their life lives. The moments in their life where they became distrustful, where they lost their essence, where they compromised themselves. And how many walls and layers of armor must they wear to feel safe in the world? How many layers of coping mechanisms do they have on their chest so that again, you won't find out just how soft they might be on the inside. Or do they have the best childhood and they beam themselves proudly, lightly, and brightly into the world? Moving the energy down into the stomach. How are they treating themselves? How are they treating themselves? Are they filling themselves up needlessly with purchases or food? Are they abusing themselves? Or are they happy and vibrant in this space, feeling very in control of their lives? Or are they creating control by contriving an essence or feeling of being in control, micromanaging, pushing people away by doing certain activities and exercises? Are they using addictive patterns to create control? Or again, are they just really confident people? Moving down into the sacral chakra, the space just below the belly button and all the way around that small of back. Are they working really, really, really hard in life? Are they feeling like they never get what they want, but everybody else in the world does? Are they giving up every essence of joy and pleasure for the sake of caring for everyone else in their lives? Have they completely done away with their own needs so that they can serve the people around them? Are they creatively craving? Are they wishing every day for a weekend off and a popsicle and some sunshine on a bicycle? Do they feel deprived? Are they holding themselves back from the things that they want for fear that if they were to get what they want, it would somehow be taken away from them? Moving the energy down into the legs and the buttocks, to the root chakra. How do they feel financially? How do they feel in stability? Do they have their sneakers on? Are they ready to run at any minute? Are they insecure, uncomfortable, unsure of themselves, in distrust, convinced that they are never going to make enough money? Are they hyper aware that everybody else seems stable? Are they spending their money the second they get it because they don't understand it? Or on the contrary, are they hoarding their money and simply not enjoying it for fear that there will not be enough? Are they always looking for a desperate way out of whatever situation they are in? Are their eyes peeled to the door? And as a result, are they losing relationships? Are they fighting against the people that care the most about them? Are they trying to change jobs and change direction and change ideas all the time for fear that if they stand still too long, they might get found out, or it will again all be taken away from them? Take another deep breath here. Now that you're in the consciousness of the pain of your client, I want to work our way up and see the resolve after working with you. After the experience that they have working with you, after they have experienced your solution, when they've experienced your greatness and your ability to hold space, your ability to make them something beautiful, your ability to change the way they feel in the world, are they now contrasting into, from the root chakra down as we move up, are the sneakers off? Are they feeling comfortable and balanced here? Like they can hold themselves up, like they can trust the environment that they're in. That they can feel like they can hold a container of money and feel okay and feel like it's enough and feel like they can trust the people who are in their lives and that the people who love them the most will still be there. And that in fact, they don't have to run away anymore. Moving up to the sacral chakra, are they allowing themselves to experience the joy and the free ease that comes with life when you are no longer trapped in martyr syndrome, when you are no longer trapped in the idea that everybody else gets what they want, but suddenly they feel free and ready to totally step into the expression of what they want because they believe that they deserve it and they're allowed to have it? Can you feel as you move into the stomach that they now trust themselves and they no longer need to fill themselves up? They no longer need vices. They just simply need to come back into the truth of how they feel. And that in fact recognize they are safe and they have everything that they need. And that they do not need to control because the universe will always take care of them. As you move into the heart, do you feel as if you have been able to help resolve a piece of their distrust to where they've been able to remove some of those layers of armor, to where they're totally able to trust themselves, if nothing else in the world, and that they've learned how to inexplicably begin to forgive the pieces of themselves and the pieces of the people who maybe harmed them on their way in, so that they can allow more abundance and love in their life? Are you noticing that your clients, as they move into the throat chakra, are simply able to relax their jaw and begin to express themselves clearly, without fear, without resentment, letting people have a runway of time to let them know, hey, I feel this way and I need XYZ. Have you enlightened them and allowed them to really feel like they can express themselves with you? Are they seeing clearly for themselves what it is that they want in this life? And that now as the inner critic chirps and the self-doubt rises and those bits of comparison come up, the judge might also be there, but the mindset of the situation has transformed. They feel better. And they again have more trust in the truth of what's happening in their lives. Take a deep breath here. And I want you to move back onto that piece of paper that you began. And for the next few minutes before our next live class, which is on a different link altogether, take a moment and just begin to write down this experience and write down the feelings of your client as they work through their hell and their heaven and how you can cure it. And Sarah, if you need more than 4 minutes, take it. Debbie, if you need all the time in the world, take it. I'm recording the next lesson that we have, so you guys don't have to feel rushed in this at all. But take this meditation and take this time to really work in what it feels like to be your client. Are there any questions after this? Okay. Put this up so you guys can have that as your thing. And I'm going to keep this up for just 2 more minutes, and then I'm switching over to the next live Zoom. Okay, you guys keep working. I'll see you guys in the other training should you choose, or just keep working this one out and I will send you the Zoom recording for both.